Hello, good evening, and welcome to TC Network. I am Tingay Tim Hokip bringing you today's news. Today's top headlines include Senior Superintendent of Manipur Police Ro More disguised as army. Kuki-Zo denizens condemns exchange of fire took place. Scuffle broke out at Pogachao between Central Force and Mayday Mob. 682 cases of JN1 recorded in 12 states till January 6. News in details. The women folk of More today morning caught a Mayday police officer masqueraded himself as an army personnel and wearing the army uniform. Nectar Sanjanbam, Senior Superintendent of Police, was caught by the women folk who stand on duty this morning at Morning Bazaar while on his way to annihilate the Kuki-Zo inhabitants of More. The women folk, on learning about the Mayday undercover agent, stopped him from entering the Kuki-Zo inhabited areas and sent him back. While sending back SSP Nectar Sanjanbam to More police station, the Arambay Tengol and Mayday militants retorted by firing at them and even throwing bombs. Report from reliable sources states that the village volunteers, as a self-defense, fired back at the perpetrator, and this led to a prolonged gunfight between the two. Any death and casualty has not been confirmed as of now. The Kuki-Zo people strongly condemns this act of the Mayday police personnel who illegally wears the army uniform on a ploy to annihilate the Kuki-Zo people, and hence asks the Indian Army to take legal actions against the offender. The Mayday militia, comprising of the Arambay Tengol and Mayday militants, stormed over and made a complete mockery of the Constitution of India, thereby using the police commando and army uniforms in their convenience to carry out their atrocious ploy of annihilating the Kuki-Zo people of India. However, More and Technopol village volunteers vote not to turn a blind eye over the savageness of the Maydays and to deal with them accordingly, lest they will commit more crimes. Moreover, the Mayday police commandos comes to More not to restore peace but to stripe it off, added the report. The Kuki Inpi Technopol Defense Wing vehemently condemns the act of the so-called Manipur Police Senior Superintendent of Police donning army uniforms and trying to massacre Kuki-Zo people in More Morning Bazaar area. In an attempt to carry out a massacre upon the Kuki-Zo people, the SSP of Manipur Police, Nectar Sanjanbam, donning army uniforms and disguised as the army, went to the crowd morning market with automatic rifles during curfew relaxation hours. Luckily, the local women folk who kept vigil at the area noticed him and caught him before he executed his evil plan. While the women folk escorted the fake army, Sanjanbam Nectar back to More Bazaar, the Mayday militants and Arambay Tengol opened fire towards the innocent civilians, following which the village guards retaliated. It is now crystal clear that the Mayday commandos and its militia groups, Arambay Tengol and surrendered militants, are deployed by the Mayday government in More town to terrorize the Kuki-Zo people. The Kuki Inpi Technopol Defense Wing is surprised and perplexed to learn how and why the Assam Rifles allowed the Mayday Police Senior Superintendent of Police Nectar Sanjanbam to masquerade as army and carry out attack on Kuki-Zo people in More town with Arambay Tengol and Mayday militants. Are the Assam Rifles involved in conspiring against Kuki-Zo people by colluding with the Mayday forces? The indigenous Kuki-Zo people in More and Technopol district will not remain a silent spectator of this alarming threat. Kuki Inpi Technopol urged the authority concerned in the army to take the matter seriously and took into the same and initiate necessary action against Nectar Sanjanbam and its cahoots. The open deployment of Mayday militia in the name of the state forces in the ruthless attacks against the lives and properties of the Kuki-Zo people in More town is senseless and outrageous, and is therefore most condemnable. In fact, such illegitimate use of Mayday militia against the Kuki-Zo community only expresses the disrespect for law and order duly established under the Constitution of India. The Kuki Inpi Technopole district therefore strongly condemns the dictated deployment of Arambay Tanggol and Mayday militants and allows them to masquerade as state and center security forces. There are enough central forces including Boulder Security Forces, Gorkha Regiment, Assam Rifles and Rapid Action Forces, and State Civil Police, and more. It was a peaceful place before the deployment of a Mayday militia, Arambay Tanggol and Mayday insurgents, in the name of state forces to annihilate Kuki-Zo people. There will be no peace in Moray town until the Mayday forces are removed. The indigenous Kuki-Zo people in Moray and Technopole district will not succumb to the dictated deployment of Mayday forces in Moray town and will continue to fight against the forced deployment of Arambay Tanggol and Mayday insurgents in Kuki-Zo areas, said the release. The Committee on Tribal Unity made a press statement in regards to the deployment of state police commandos in Moray. The statement reads, "The Committee on Tribal Unity would like to reiterate our demands against the deployment of state police commandos in Moray, which is devoid of sound logic and rationality. Tension and suspicion is bound to surface if a Mayday militant are certified to roam free in areas dominated by Kuki-Zo. This has led to the renewed violence in the Kuki-Zo areas where lives were lost and properties destroyed, and the incumbent chief minister is to be held responsible. Furthermore, the presence of state forces, that is COD, is nothing more but to prolong the conflict and wanton display of political dominance over the minority Kuki-Zo community by the majoritarian Mayday community. In fact, there is ample peace in all areas dominated by Kuki-Zo community until shattered by attacks from the valley-based militants." The press release further states that the committee would like to ask the logic behind sending Mayday forces into the Kuki-Zo dominated areas when adequate number of neutral central forces such as BSF, CRPF and AR are already in the area. Therefore, the Committee on Tribal Unity would like to urge the central government to instruct the state to withdraw its Mayday militants from Moray, who are guised as CDOs donning police uniform, equipments and vehicles. The committee also reasoned that for semblance of law and order in the state, reimpose EBSPA in all the 19 police stations, which were earlier exempted from the purview of the Act, is highly necessitated for national security reasons. A scuffle broke out this morning between Command Regiment of Central Forces with women folk of the area. A report from a reliable source said that the incident happened when the security forces allegedly tried to give a surprise visit to Pogachau police station. The mob stopped and resisted them from entering the gate, resulting into the scuffle. It is believed that Mayday armed militants, the Arambay Tanggol and valley-based insurgent groups with weaponry took refuge at Pogachau police station. On suspecting their presence in the police station, the Command Regiment of Central Force tried to give them a surprise visit, to which number of mobs gathered swiftly and stopped the security forces from performing their duty. Such action of the women folk called Mera Paibis confirmed the presence of armed Arambay Tanggol and valley-based Mayday insurgents groups, said the report. A total of 682 cases of the JN1 subvariant of COVID-19 have been reported from 12 states across the country till January 6, according to a source. 199 cases were reported in Karnataka, 148 in Kerala, 139 in Maharashtra, 47 in Goa, 36 from Gujarat, 30 each from Andhra Pradesh and Rajasthan, 26 in Tamil Nadu, 21 in New Delhi, 3 in Odisha, 2 in Telangana and 1 in Haryana. As per sources, 1,339 samples were sent for whole genome sequencing in December 2023, while 665 samples were sent in January 2024. These samples were collected between November 10 and December 31, 2023. The majority of the cases were home isolated. The World Health Organization recently classified JN1 as a variant of interest, distinct from its parent lineage, BA286. However, the global health body emphasized that the overall risk posed by JN1 remains low based on current evidence. Both the central and state government are keeping a close watch on the new Omicron subvariant. Meanwhile, India records 605 fresh COVID-19 cases and 4 deaths in the last 24 hours, as per the official data. The active cases have increased to 4,002, while the country's overall COVID case tally stands at over 4.5 crore. National Center for Vector-Borne Disease Control, Malaria Department, Churachandpur and Pirzol conducted an annual survey from January of 2023 till December of 2023. As per report of the annual survey, the department registered a total of 7 malaria-positive patients and confirmed case of dengue recorded was 169 respectively. The Malaria Department, Churachandpur, tested blood from a total of 349 patients during January last year, all of which 1 positive case of malaria was recorded. In the month of February last year, 449 blood samples were tested, 521 blood samples on March, 580 samples on April, 8 blood samples on May, 161 blood samples on June were tested, but no case of malaria positive was registered. 255 blood samples in July and 192 blood samples in August were tested, and out of which 4 malaria positive were recorded. Going on with the test, the center again tested 233 blood samples in September and found no positive malarial infection. 266 blood samples were tested in October, found no positive malarial infection. 209 blood samples in November and 266 blood samples in December were also tested and found no positive malarial infection. Out of the total number of 3,449 blood samples tested till December, 6 malarial positive cases were discovered. Similarly, Malaria Department, Pirzol also conducted blood tests from 164 patients in January 2023, tested 180 blood samples in February, 180 blood samples in March, 527 blood samples in April, and 42 blood samples in May last year, and found no malarial positive case. Another 70 blood samples in June were tested and found 1 positive case of malaria. 49 blood samples in July, 159 blood samples in August, 30 blood samples in September, 49 blood samples in October, 60 blood samples in November, 36 blood samples in December were also tested and found no malarial positive cases. Out of the total number of 1,590 blood samples tested till December, only 1 malarial positive case was registered. Official report of the National Center for Vector-Borne Disease Control, Malaria Department, Churachandpur said a total of 169 dengue cases were registered from January till December last year, and only 1 fatality was recorded. Simveng recorded the highest number of dengue cases, which stood at 24, followed by Kamdolveng, which stood at 21 dengue cases, said the report. A press release signed by Th. Lamthang Simte, Director, Information and Public Relations, War Kuki-Zo Intellectual Council General Headquarters states that the War Kuki-Zo Intellectual Council General Headquarters is shocked and strongly resented and condemns the bombing and massacre of 15 innocent minority Christian ethnic Chin Kuki villagers of Kanan village and Khampat village, mostly women and children, injuring several villagers on Sunday, the 7th January 2024, by Myanmar's junta regime State Administrative Council forces by deploying jet fighters. The stated villages are located at Tammu Township, Sagang Region, Myanmar. Operation of aircrafts and jet fighters to bombard innocent villagers is against international law as per United Nations Convention on Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, 1965, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, 1979, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, 1989, that needs condemnation from all walks of life and human rights groups for the protection and safety of innocent women and children. The release further said the hardships endured by minority ethnic group of Myanmar, in particular, and democratic activists under Aung San Suu Kyi in general in Burma has crossed its limits, that international committees should pay attention to stop excessive gross violation of human rights in Myanmar, Burma. WKZIC hereby made an appeal to Myanmar's junta authority to stop civil war and spare the lives of its innocent citizens on humanitarian ground. The Cookie Students Organization Churachandpur has withheld the ongoing admission process of schools in Churachandpur district till January 15. The decision was resolved during the executive body meeting of KSO Churachandpur district, and it blocks held at the KSO Churachandpur Administrative Office on Sunday stated a release issued by the KSO Churachandpur on Sunday. The release states that the decision comes in response to numerous complaints received from parents regarding the school fees and the hardships faced by the IDPs and the students' fraternity. The release stated that the organization aims to address these issues and hold productive discussion with school owners and like-minded stakeholders to seek an amicable solution. By withholding the admission process temporarily, the KSO aims to show its commitment to resolving the concerns raised by parents, while maintaining the integrity and equality of education, stated the release. KSO requested all parents and school owners to comply with the resolution adopted by the organization. Today at around 11 a.m., the Rural Women Upliftment Society and YVA General Headquarters Relief Department jointly conducted relief items distribution program for the Sumtukpai IDF Relief and Rehabilitation Center, Tangpai Presbyterian Church Synod. A total of 102 blanket, mattress, and bedsheets were handed over during the program. A family of 7 and below were given a set of the distributed items, and a family of 8 members and above were given 2 sets each. Reverend P.B. Joseph Thara in his speech thanked the RWUS and YVA for their act of kindness and further request the TCPS to take up initiative in rebuilding the houses of the IDPs in the future. So far, construction of houses were carried out only in Bulyan and Sumtukpai villages, he added, and also requested them to carry out the house building program in Sokom village next. The TPCS had held its church members who are affected by the war, and a total of around 200 houses had been built so far. The IDP has started occupying the built houses starting October last year. The Joint Students' Body of Lamka issued a press release denouncing and condemning the celebration of Lamka Medical College Annual Day in Imphal, terming it unethical and evil aim to relocate the medical college to one of the valley districts. The press statement read, "At this time of civil war and unrest, the annual day celebration of the Lamka Medical College carried out on the 6th of January 2024 at the premises of the college is a reflection of God's grace and guidance on our people. On the other hand, the Joint Students' Body Lamka, comprising of GSO, HSA, KSO, KSU, KJP, MSO, MJP, SSPP, TCSA, TSP, Jilai, ZSF, and ZSP strongly condemns the simultaneous celebration of the annual college day on the 6th of January 2024 in Imphal." The release further said that the celebration of the annual day of a medical college based in one of the hill districts in Imphal epitomized the disdain of the majority community for tribal rights and the discrimination we face to this day. This celebration remains one of the repeated unethical attempts to relocate the medical college to one of the valley districts. While JSB Lamka has fought long and hard to prevent the relocation of the medical college and for the proper functioning of the medical college in particular, at this time of civil war and displacement of medical students, the annual day celebration in Imphal is viewed as nothing short of an insult to the people of the district, said the release. The Ladies Auxiliary Department from UPC in Paihotang village visited the Martyr Cemetery in Second village, honoring the departed tribals who were victims of Manipur ethnic class. During this event, the group hosted a tribute ceremony where different church leaders and artists presented the Holy Gospel through sermons and songs. To show appreciation for the martyrs suffering in protecting our tribal land, the LAD group had handed out tea for the visitors of the cemetery from December 31st to January 4th, and on January 7th and January 8th. On Saturday, the Chief Minister of Manipur, Biren Singh, inaugurated the college Phagat Hansi Mission in Moirang College located in Bisnupur district. A monolith erection and unveiling of project was conducted by Biren Singh in hopes of extending development projects within the Moirang Assembly constituency. During his speech, CM Biren Singh claimed that the conflict and firing in Moreh was only the beginning of war. Although there were misunderstandings between communities, it has never led to such intensity, and the condition in Moreh is true war, said the Chief Minister. Condition of illegal immigrants in Manipur was discussed. The state government has not taken the initiative for over 10 years, said the Chief Minister. He added that between the years 2006 and 2018, over 900 villages were established in Manipur. According to Biren Singh, the ethnic violence that erupted during May 2023 was not a war, but was a mere misunderstanding between a few communities. That is all for today's news, and have a pleasant evening ahead.